Chosen one, take a slow breath in and feel the energy in the air around you. It's shifting, crackling with a promise of abundance that was once just out of your grasp. The days of scraping by, of worrying whether you can cover next month's bills or repay that lingering debt, are dissolving into the past. It's no coincidence you found this message right now, just as your spirit is ready to embrace a higher truth. You may have heard countless affirmations, read endless guides, and tried to muster your faith while adversity knocked relentlessly at your door. But this moment is different. Something within you is lighting up, an ember of clarity telling you that your days of financial hardship are over. This is not about winning the lottery or stumbling upon a sudden windfall, though extraordinary blessings do happen. Instead, it's about an inner shift so profound that it calls prosperity to you in ways you can neither predict nor resist. Before we dive in deeper, I invite you to comment 777, declaring to yourself and to the flow of creation that you are ready to receive this message and translate it into reality. Only those who feel the resonance will do so, stepping boldly into a future no longer defined by lack. Feel that subtle assurance stirring in your heart? It's whispering that the financial constraints that once weighed heavily on your soul have no place in this new chapter of your life. Perhaps you struggled to make ends meet for years, living from paycheck to paycheck, or seeing your plans crumble under the weight of unexpected expenses. Maybe you believed at some level that financial freedom was for other people born with advantages you never had, or perhaps those who seemed genetically predisposed to success. Yet deep down, some part of you has always known that you're meant for more, that within you lies the same spark of divine creative power that fuels any success story you've ever admired. The truth is that spark was never lacking. It was just clouded by limiting beliefs, a swirl of fear and self-doubt, perpetuated by circumstances that taught you to settle for less. Now, the illusions are cracking, revealing that you've had the seeds of abundance all along, waiting to be nurtured, cultivated, and finally harvested. You might wonder, but how can this be true if I'm still facing bills, still juggling multiple obligations, still in the middle of financial stress? Realize that change in the physical realm often trails just behind a shift in consciousness. First, your inner world awakens to new possibilities. Your perspective flips from, "I can't afford it," to "I can create the means." You begin to question the old narrative that locked you into cycles of scarcity. In that questioning, you dissolve the mental and emotional blocks that once sabotaged your flow of income. It's like stepping onto a new plane of existence, where the rules about money aren't shaped by fear, but by a confident knowledge that you have what it takes to turn your visions into reality. As you hold that new perspective, external results start to align. Opportunities that seemed out of reach before reveal themselves. Your creativity sparks to life, fueling new ideas or business ventures, and relationships with people who can catalyze your success appear right when you need them. The process might not be instant, but it will be inevitable once you choose to live in this new state of mind. One reason your days of financial hardship are truly ending is that you no longer see money as a fickle master but as a flexible servant. Money has always been a form of energy, a tool for exchanging value. For too long, you might have felt it as a tyrant limiting your choices, commanding you to toil in jobs or situations that drained your spirit just to survive. But as you awaken to your internal power, you claim dominion over money rather than letting money dominate you. This isn't about ignoring practicalities. Of course, there are bills to pay and obligations to meet. It's about the recognition that money flows to and from you in direct proportion to how deeply you trust your ability to create, how boldly you invest in your growth, and how willingly you serve the world with your unique gifts. When you operate with love and purpose, you become a magnet for financial blessings, because the universe resonates with genuine intent. It wants to support whatever elevates life, fosters expansion, and gives birth to meaningful innovation. You, releasing your talents, forging solutions, shining your light, become a vessel through which money can circulate to make a positive difference. Of course, part of this journey involves letting go of old stories that told you you're bad with money, or that you're doomed to repeat your parents' financial struggles. In the grand unfolding of your destiny, these narratives are flimsy illusions that might have served as protective coping mechanisms or inherited mindsets you absorbed unknowingly as a child. But illusions lose their power the moment you see them for what they are. So ask yourself, do I cling to a belief that money is inherently corrupt or that wealth is reserved for a select few? If so, rewrite those scripts in your mind. Wealth, when approached ethically and guided by compassion, is not the root of evil but a catalyst for empowerment. As you break the mental shackles, watch how your energy shifts from anxious hesitation to proactive initiative. You start looking for opportunities rather than reasons to doubt. You approach problems with the mindset that a solution exists waiting to be found. This mental shift, subtle but profound, forms the cornerstone of your new financial reality. You might also realize that your past endeavors to earn more or climb out of debt were stymied not by lack of intelligence or effort, but by a missing sense of worthiness. Many hold a subconscious assumption that they don't deserve ease or surplus, that living paycheck to paycheck is somehow moral or inescapable. This belief seeps into everyday decisions, undermining your attempts to save or invest. It might manifest as self-sabotaging impulses, splurging impulsively, avoiding learning about finances because it's too complicated, or ignoring opportunities because they feel too good to be true. These behaviors all trace back to a self-image that says you're not someone who thrives financially. But that self-image is eroding now, replaced by an affirmation of your inherent worthiness. Chosen one, you have as much right to prosperity as the next person. Not because you're superior to anyone else, but because abundance is your birthright, part of the universal flow of life. Accepting that changes the game. As you embrace this new self-image, you naturally shift your actions. Suddenly, you're open to reading about investments, to seeking mentors, to trying new entrepreneurial endeavors or job opportunities that once felt intimidating. You become bolder in negotiations, no longer content to accept the bare minimum. You explore side hustles aligned with your passions. You find yourself collaborating with people you used to be intimidated by, or applying for positions you once believed were out of your league. Through these consistent steps, you build momentum. A day comes when you look around and realize your finances have drastically improved. Your debts are shrinking, your savings or investments are growing, and your sense of security no longer hinges on a single paycheck. That day might sneak up on you gently, like waking up one morning and seeing the first rays of dawn after a long night. But it will come, and you'll marvel at how fluidly the transformation occurred once you aligned your beliefs, your identity, and your actions. Perhaps you're thinking, but I still need to handle these credit card debts or student loans, or overcome the gap in my resume. Let those practical concerns motivate you rather than deter you. Start by constructing a plan. How can you systematically tackle debts while building an emergency fund, learning about passive income, or honing skills that elevate your earning potential? Accountability can help. Share your goals with a trusted friend, mentor, or online community. Track your progress meticulously, celebrating small victories along the way. The sense of forward motion nourishes your belief that you're no longer drowning but rising. The line between fantasy and reality blurs as each milestone cements your new identity. You are not the impoverished bystander of your finances, but an active, empowered architect. The world outside may not change overnight, but your inner stance will pivot in ways that command more favorable external results. One important aspect is deciding how you want to use the increased resources that will inevitably flow your way. Old mindsets might say, "I'll just hoard money to feel secure," but that approach can lead to stagnation. Consider the deeper purpose behind your financial uplift. Maybe you want to create a stable home environment for your family to break generational cycles of poverty. Maybe you desire to fund a creative project that speaks to your soul, or to travel the globe and bring back stories that unite people across cultures. Or perhaps your heart yearns to support philanthropic causes, to be the benefactor you once wished you had. Anchoring your financial goals in a purpose beyond mere accumulation amplifies the universe's response. Money energy flows best when it's part of a larger vision that resonates with your moral and spiritual core. This synergy aligns your finances with your authenticity, ensuring that your newfound wealth not only liberates you personally but also contributes to the greater tapestry of human progress. You might meet people who question your shift. They might say, "Your life was always about scraping by. Why do you suddenly believe you can live differently?" That's okay. Their skepticism arises from their own limited lens. They haven't glimpsed the shift in your consciousness, nor do they feel the powerful tide you've tapped into. You can respond with grace, acknowledging their concerns without letting them define your reality. As you gently but firmly own your emerging narrative, you transform into living proof that a change of perspective can break old patterns. Over time, the skeptics might become your supporters, especially once they witness the tangible changes in your life. Seeing your stress fade, your confidence grow, and your finances stabilize. In this journey, discipline is your ally. Yes, you're guided by a new mindset, but you also need daily consistent effort, managing your budget, saving a percentage of your income, seeking higher-paying work or business opportunities, investing in your personal growth. Resist the temptation to revert to old spending habits when a bit of extra cash appears. Resist the fear that urges you to keep your horizons small. Integrate discipline as a joyful practice, not a punishing regime. Each step you take, no matter how modest, is an act of faith in your new identity. Over time, these incremental steps form a compounding effect that catapults you far beyond the threshold of survival you once inhabited. You'll look back and realize discipline wasn't an enemy. It was the scaffold that supported your ascent. Additionally, remember to keep learning. As you move beyond your old financial constraints, you enter uncharted territory. Maybe you'll want to explore real estate, stocks, digital businesses, or even intangible domains like intellectual property. The more you educate yourself, the more refined your decisions become. Ask questions, read books, attend workshops, or follow credible financial educators who align with your moral compass. This ongoing learning not only enhances your results but keeps you from repeating naive mistakes. You begin to sense the intricacies of money flow, noticing patterns, cycles, and golden opportunities that remain invisible to the untrained eye. You develop the ability to pivot swiftly if market conditions change, turning adversity into advantage. This fluid adaptation is a hallmark of someone whose financial hardship days are truly over. Someone who can dance with the shifts of economy or society, never losing balance because they trust their capacity to navigate storms. Meanwhile, adopt an abundant posture in everyday life. Celebrate others' successes, give generously when moved to do so, and speak words that uplift yourself and others about money. Avoid the trap of gossip or envy. If you see someone thriving financially, let it inspire you rather than trigger resentment. If you find a friend in need, help in ways that are balanced and guided by wisdom. In all these acts, you affirm that wealth is not a zero-sum game, that your rise doesn't necessitate anyone else's fall. The collective is stronger when we share knowledge and open doors for each other. You become a beacon, an example of how to prosper without losing heart or authenticity. Perhaps the greatest realization is that your evolution beyond financial struggle also frees you to shine your light in other areas of life. You can focus on creative projects, philanthropic ventures, or spiritual growth without the constant pressure to just make it. That creative breathing space is fertile ground for new innovations and further expansions of abundance. This is the cycle of synergy. As financial stress ebbs away, your talents and deeper passions flourish, which in turn can generate even more prosperity. Living in that cycle feels like a liberation from the hamster wheel of work, pay bills, work more. Instead, your life becomes a series of purposeful expansions. You're not locked into the old constraints anymore. Indeed, one day you'll look around and see that the very hardships that once defined you have faded into memory, replaced by a horizon of opportunities that continues to unfold as long as you remain open to growth. Now, if a whisper in your heart wonders, is all this too good to be true? Can I really claim that my days of financial hardship are over? Let that whisper invite you to reflect on how the old patterns felt oh so real, yet were illusions fueled by your acceptance of them. By rewriting those stories, by adopting a stance of empowerment, you're replacing illusions of limitation with the reality of expansion. It's not that adversity will never appear. Challenges can arise at any stage. But the difference is that you'll meet those challenges with resourcefulness, composure, and the unwavering knowledge that you have the tools to surmount them. This shapes a future where financial woes do not define your identity or confine your possibilities. If you still hold some lingering doubt, Remind yourself that countless individuals have transcended dire financial origins or life-shattering bankruptcies, emerging to build wealth beyond what they once imagined. Their journeys weren't straightforward. They faced down negativity, overcame personal demons, and battled external setbacks. Yet their outcomes prove the resilience and creativity inherent in every human soul. You are no different. The same spark resides in you. The difference lies in whether you choose to ignite it. This message arrived in your life to spark that ignition. Now it's up to you to fan the flame through deliberate action, consistent learning, and unwavering self-belief. If at this moment you feel a surge of resolve, harness that momentum. Maybe your next step is to craft a clear financial vision. The amount you want to earn monthly, the debt you aim to clear, the investments you hope to cultivate, the philanthropic causes you're determined to support. Put these goals on paper. Let them be more than fuzzy wishes. Make them explicit targets that guide your decisions day in, day out. Then break them into achievable steps. If you aim to build an emergency fund, set aside a fixed fraction of every paycheck. If you want to pivot to a better-paying job or start a business, commit to an hour or two daily to develop the necessary skills or network. The daily, even seemingly small, commitments accumulate into unstoppable progress. Over time, it's not just your bank account that changes, but your sense of identity, your trust in life's abundance, and your capacity to shape tomorrow. Also, keep a watchful eye for subtle nudges from the universe. Maybe someone recommends a podcast that addresses exactly the financial topic you're curious about. Or you stumble upon a local workshop on property investing. Or a friend randomly mentions an entrepreneurial collaboration that resonates with your talents. These coincidences often arise once your mindset shifts to being receptive, open, and confident. They're not accidents. They're signposts encouraging you to take the next leap. If your gut says yes, explore them. Even if certain leads don't pan out as expected, they might open your eyes to new strategies or partnerships. Each encounter becomes part of your unfolding story of financial transformation. Consider how your relationships may shift. As you step out of scarcity thinking, you might notice that your ability to be present, generous, and supportive to loved ones intensifies. No longer consumed by worry, you have mental and emotional bandwidth to invest in meaningful connections. You'll also see your circle transforming as you resonate more with people who share or respect your new perspective. Those who cling to victimhood or negativity might naturally recede from your environment. This, too, is part of the journey. Growth sometimes requires letting go of toxic influences, even if it's painful at first. Over time, you'll find yourself surrounded by encouraging, forward-thinking individuals who reflect and amplify your blossoming abundance. If tension arises from family or friends who are used to you in a disempowered state, remember that your shift can feel threatening to those who remain in the old paradigm. Offer them empathy, but maintain your boundaries. You are not obligated to remain small to make others comfortable. If they are meant to accompany you in this new era, they will adapt, possibly even finding their own revelations. If not, you can still hold affection for them, but you no longer sacrifice your growth to conform to their expectations. Your priority is to stay aligned with your evolving self, to embody the truth that your days of financial hardship have indeed ended. This is how you honor your purpose. At times, you may be tempted to look over your shoulder at the version of yourself who struggled for so long. Let that be a source of compassion rather than regret. Each heartbreak or failure contributed to the person you are now, teaching you resilience and empathy. Without that journey, you might never have awakened so fully to your own power. Instead of lamenting the lost time, celebrate the fact that you've arrived at this pivotal threshold. You are more prepared for success than someone who never tasted hardship, because adversity has polished you like a diamond under pressure. And when the evidence of your new reality starts showing up, when unexpected funds come your way, or you receive that job offer, or your business sees a surge of growth, don't downplay it. Acknowledge it as confirmation that your shift is taking root in the physical plane. Express gratitude, not just to the external forces that aided you, but to yourself for daring to believe in what once seemed impossible. This gratitude forms a virtuous cycle, encouraging even more blessings to flow. That's how you sustain momentum, turning a fleeting win into a consistent climb. You become the living embodiment of financial well-being, radiating confidence and generosity that mirror the infinite supply of life itself. As you ascend beyond hardship, you may hear the whisper of an even greater calling. Financial stability often clarifies your focus, opening avenues to fulfill your heart's mission. Maybe you'll mentor others struggling with money, or funnel your extra resources into philanthropic causes, or invest in community projects that spark transformation. You might use your expanded platform to address systemic inequalities or to innovate in areas where the mainstream sees no solutions. These impulses stem from a recognition that personal prosperity is incomplete if it doesn't ripple outward. By answering that call, you not only affirm your own abundance but become a beacon for others to realize their days of scarcity can end. 2. So here you stand, chosen one, at the cusp of a moment that could mark the end of a chapter defined by lack and the beginning of a new story animated by abundance. There's nothing mystical or elitist about it. This path is open to anyone who dares to shift their perspective, rebuild their habits, and trust that they can shape their financial future. You're the one who said yes to hearing this message, the one who scrolled down and typed 777, the one who is ready to break through illusions and claim the life you've always sensed was waiting. Let that action set the tone for all that follows. No more living small, no more ceding your power to financial fear. If doubt still tugs at your sleeve, see it as a reflection of how momentous this transformation truly is. Stepping into a new reality can be unnerving, yet everything up to this point has prepared you for it. Trust the process, trust yourself, and keep going. Affirm each day that your days of financial hardship are behind you, not in some naive act of denial, but in an empowered declaration that you are capable of forging a new destiny. Imagine the relief, the excitement, the surge of creativity when the weight of financial strain lifts from your shoulders. That feeling is your future made tangible. Breathe it in, let it become part of you, and watch as the external world rearranges itself to reflect your unwavering conviction. In a short while, you'll look back on this chapter and realize it was the threshold that separated your old existence from the luminous horizon of your greater potential. You'll recall how a single conversation, a single text, or a single video delivered the spark that ignited your transformation. And you'll realize that once you allowed yourself to believe that hardship was optional, the path forward became far clearer than you ever thought possible. This is your moment to step beyond the scarcity you once called normal, to transcend the survival mode that once tethered your wings. Embrace it wholeheartedly. Let this be the day you remember as the turning point, the day you chose a reality defined by freedom rather than limitation. Yes, chosen one, your days of financial hardship are over. Walk bravely into the light of that realization. Make the phone call, launch the project, learn the skill, seek the mentor, practice the discipline, whatever your spirit urges you to do. Each step you take is a vote for your new life, cast in the ballot box of the universe. The results, though they may take time to fully unfold, are already guaranteed by your internal shift. You are wealthy in spirit, wealthy in potential, and now wealthy in the practical sense, as you let that inner wealth manifest into your material world. Joyfully, steadily, and with unstoppable momentum, you claim a future unbounded by the limitations you once endured. Congratulations on arriving at this place of power, on hearing this message that resonates with the truth your soul has known all along. Go forth and show the world what it looks like when someone decides, unequivocally, that their days of financial hardship have come to an end. And in doing so, may you inspire others to follow suit, to step into their own journeys of overcoming scarcity. Let your transformation serve not just as personal relief, but as a guiding light for all who yearn to break free. Your new era begins now. Walk in faith, act in love, and know beyond any doubt that nothing can keep you from the prosperity that's always been your birthright.